So in this next video, let's have a look at interpreting all this information that we can get from avalanche forecasts. So from the earlier video, we saw that Scottish Avalanche Information Service provide forecasts for a number of different areas. So here we have Torridon area, Northern Cairngorms, Southern Cairngorms, Craig Meggie and the Mount Leath. We have Lochaber and Glencoe. So every single day during winter, they will be out there producing forecasts for these areas. And you can find the avalanche reports also on your app. So here, top right corner, from anywhere within the app, you can access the sub-menu and avalanche reports. And again, from the home screen, daily avalanche reports are under our whole Be Avalanche Aware process. So this is a forecast period for 1800 hours on Monday 26th of December, so Boxing Day, through to 1800 on Tuesday the 7th of December 2022. Some important considerations. Reading one avalanche report isn't sufficient to enable you to determine the complete avalanche risk for an area for that day. So they have given you reports that, in fact, if you keep on scrolling, will go back years. It's important to take into account the snowpack history. Reading avalanches from the most recent days and the snowpack evolution will tell you really what's been going on and will give you a better idea of where problem areas might be. Forecasts are produced for different regions and published late afternoon or early evening for the next day. But note that this is from 1800s, from effectively the day it's published until 1800 the next day. So it's worth bearing in mind, whereas most weather forecasts will be that 24-hour cycle from midnight, these ones are roughly from 1800 hours until 1800 hours the next day. So again, you can read a weekly snowpack summary, which they've given you here. Again, they've really tried to highlight things that are important. So knowing what is happening throughout the snowpack is vital. There'll be different layers, certainly in areas where they get more snow, such as Scotland. And it's important to kind of know what's been happening. What's this picture? What are you walking on? What are these different layers? So this is the avalanche hazard forecast. They've also provided an observed avalanche hazard. So this is what the forecasters reported when they went out the day to make their forecast. So this information is going to give you a lot of information really about what actually is on the ground on the day that they did the forecast. So this is in many respects what's helping them forecast for the next day. So this is real, this is then based on reality plus then the weather forecast and what they're expecting to see. So on this day, their avalanche report, so from 1800 hours on Boxing Day 2022 until 1800 hours on Tuesday the 27th of December 2022, in the Northern Cairngorms the avalanche hazard was considerable. So let's go through then what that means in a bit more detail. So again, on your app, from the top right bars, you can access a sub-menu, and there you get the reminder of the hazard levels and advice, and also from the home screen of the app. Considerable. So if you remember this from the previous video, this is our scale, hazard scale for avalanches. Considerable. Natural avalanches may occur and a single person load is likely to trigger an avalanche on some slopes. Good visibility and route finding in mountain terrain is important, as is experience in avalanche hazard evaluation. It is vital that you manage your group carefully and use mountain features, e.g. ridges and protected slopes, to travel safely. We've also got a moderate between 600 and 900 metres. Human triggered avalanches are possible, so good visibility and good route selection is important, especially in steep locations as indicated in the reports. You should manage your group carefully, keeping good spacing between people to reduce loading on slopes while using mountain features, e.g. ridges and protected slopes, to travel safely. So we're building up a bit of a picture from the videos that we've watched so far, haven't we, that these scoured ridges are the places to go, and areas where snow has been dumped, i.e. the lee slopes and facing into the wind, facing away from the wind, are the ones to avoid. So they've given you a lot of text here. Now, they used to, in these reports, have the avalanche rows right at the top. And I think, from what I recall, they did a little bit of a survey, and people were spending on average 15 seconds looking at an avalanche report, and they just look at the coloured rows and that was it. So what they've done now is give far more emphasis to the written descriptions, because these are really telling you what's happening. The avalanche rows, although it's a nice pretty picture and fairly easy to kind of interpret, it's not giving you a full picture. It's the overshot, it's the overview kind of snapshot really of what you're looking at. So let's look at what it's telling us. So bear in mind, this is for 1800 hours on Boxing Day 2022 until 1800 hours on the 27th. Fresh snowfall combined with redistribution and drifting of existing snow will deposit areas of unstable wind slab. So bear in mind that's damaged snow grains which are compacted into lee areas sheltered from the wind. They can form a compacted sheet that can release when triggered as large slabs of snow if it overlies a weak layer. They are dull and chalky in appearance. Cracks and blocks appear underfoot when walking or skiing over them. So drifting of existing snow will deposit areas of unstable wind slab in the wind and sheltered locations above 800 metres. Most affected will be northwest to northeast aspects. However, west and east aspects will also be affected due to cross-loading. So that is transport of snow into localised and sheltered areas due to wind blowing across a slope and depositing snow behind features such as ribs and spurs and into hollows. So really what you're getting is a layer kind of bonded or loosely bonded at 90 degrees to the one below it. It's not very stable. Fresh cornices on some aspects will be prone to collapse. The avalanche hazard will be considerable. They've also given you the forecast weather influences. So after a dry night, a period of snow is expected through the morning. This will become more showery during the afternoon. Strong winds will be from the southwest overnight and then from the south or southeast during the day. The freezing level will slowly rise during the day to around 1,000 metres by the end of the afternoon. So that's a very mixed picture that they're giving you, which is why there's such a wide variety of aspects which have got a high avalanche risk. Because the wind is sweeping round in different directions throughout the day, plus there's fresh snow coming in the morning. Notice also that the temperature is rising. So, kind of as they've just said really, quite a variable and evolving avalanche hazard during daylight hours on Tuesday. So they can give you a snapshot, but it's going to be changing, so we still need to keep our wits about us going out on that day. Now they will also give you key snow stability observations, and this is quite a nice day because these are the most typical ones that you see. So again, this is the wind slab and weaknesses developing in the snowpack due to wind, transportation of snow and the formation of wind slab. And the trend for this, it's increasing. Development of wind slab from early morning. We've also got weaknesses within the snowpack. So this could be the cross-loading that may be present or be present in isolated or widespread locations, and or a buried layer that has persisted for some time. And this is a constant. So there are weaknesses that have been there for a while and are presumably going to be there for quite some time, and they could be localized. And again, it's kind of mentioned in the text as well, cornices that may present a hazard due to collapse and or providing an avalanche trigger. So someone could knock through a bit of cornice, and that block would be enough to land below and trigger that entire slope to avalanche below it. And this is an increasing trend. So we can kind of see that because the temperature is rising throughout the day. So these heavy blobs of frozen water, which are kind of hovering over nothing, are going to get heavier and slightly weaker and less bonded as some liquid water starts to melt out, and they may well collapse. So it's a pretty weird day and quite a complex situation to try and interpret. So also on these avalanche forecasts are links to various weather forecasts, including the summit forecasts, and you can also get SAY's live weather station reports. There are various blogs written by the avalanche forecasters, and these are really quite interesting actually and provide quite a good insight. And you can also get information about interpreting the snow profiles. Now this is super nerdy, not something that we tend to cover in the sort of intro courses, but it's quite scientific, and there's an interesting video as well, which you can not download but watch, and it's just a nice little bit of extra reading or extra watching. Let's get on to the avalanche rows. So always bear in mind the written information. So there's a lot in that written information which is just not there, is it? Never go straight to the avalanche rows and ignore everything else. We wouldn't know that there is an evolving and complex situation with lots of wind changing direction just by looking at this. This is a visual overview, and it's useful for identifying where safe or dangerous areas may be in general. So just a bit of a note really about that avalanche rows. Our eyes get drawn to it because of pretty colours, but go to the text first. And that's it for this video. We'll be moving on into the next of our planning stages, which is you and your party and the mountain landscape.